Greetings viewers, this is Monto Maverick coming at you with another review video. Today we'll be reviewing the Master Grade 1/100 scale Gundam Heavyarms from Gundam Wing Endless Waltz. Now for those who are familiar with Gundam Wing the anime, as you can see here, the Gundam Heavyarms has the Endless Waltz version, but the color scheme is that of the Heavyarms in a show. That's the one thing that kind of threw me off a little bit, but it kind of does work. I am looking forward to see if I can get my hands on a official Gundam Heavyarms Endless Waltz version custom, where it's basically this exact same kit, but it has a different color scheme, which is more blue and maybe like a light blue mix. Now, a brief history on the Heavyarms along with its pilot, Trowa Barton. The Heavyarms was the third Gundam to be made during Operations Meteor's 5 Gundams. During the Gundam Wing anime. It was created by Dr. S and was developed in the L3 colonies under the financial support of the Barton Foundation. As you can see or know, the Heavyarms is a long-range attack unit with a variety of built-in firearms, and its overall firepower can be comparable to that of 3 to 5 battleships. Now, as for the pilot, Trowa Barton name is actually not his own. The original Trowa Barton was killed, and an anonymous young mobile suit mechanic, though Trowa Barton we all know, took over as the pilot of Gundam Heavyarms, adopting the name of the former pilot. Trenton, which was Trowa's original name at birth, was along with his sister were separated on the Earth during a rebellion in which their parents were killed. And in the ensuing chaos, Trowa suffered a head injury that wiped out his childhood memories and has since drifted to space and across colonies until he joined the Barton Foundation. And for the longest time, he just addressed himself as no name, until, as I stated before, he took up Trowa Barton as being the new pilot for Gundam Heavyarms. The Heavyarms armaments or weaponry consists of a Vulcan gun, a machine cannon, chest Gatling gun, its trademark, homing missiles, a micro missile, a beam Gatling gun, another trademark, an army knife, beam saber, a Gale armament, which includes large missile pods, additional lane missile pods, and a large beam cannon. And that's just on one Gundam alone. Trowa Barton, well, the one we all know, did make great use of this Gundam during battle, along with his background as a circus act, or trapeze artist actually, helped him greatly, giving this Gundam, as heavy as it is, hence Heavyarms, quite agile movements. Along with his great deal of emotional control, he can be very calm during battle and come up with a strategy if need be. But that's enough of the history along with the pilot. Let's get to the box. Now, I do like this great pose. It's perfect. Definitely, it as well. I mean, it barely this showcases just how Heavyarms is. Just a walking artillery. Basically, that's what it is. It's an armament artillery tank. So definitely sits well with me. As for the side, this gives you an action pose. The one thing I noticed about this kit compared to this is the Endless Waltz version custom that I mentioned earlier. As you can see here, that there's a light blue in certain areas where there was orange here, along with I'll say a cobalt blue and maybe even navy blue for the lane missile pods. But I know Bandai made a premium Bandai version of this with this color scheme. However, the price of that is twice of that of the average master grade. So I'm trying to see if I can get one a little bit cheaper, or maybe they will release it again in a different version, but we shall see. But as you can see here, you have the Heavyarms Endless Waltz version, Death Scythe, not the Death Scythe Hell. Right here, they have the Shenlong Gundam, not the, I think it's the Atron Gundam. And of course, Wing Zero over here. And I'm surprised. Oh, there you go. Sandrock is right here. That is 04, Shenlong is 05, 02 for Deathscythe, and 01 right there. So just some, and there is Trowa Barton, the one we all love. And on this side, just gives you a little depiction of what the kit looks like. There's that knife I mentioned, that beam saber, and one thing about the beam saber is that it's only been used one time, and all of compared to Gundam Wing, the show, along with the Endless Waltz movie, the beam saber actually been used one time, and that was actually when Hiroyuri was piloting the Gundam Heavyarms, and he was up against Zex Marquis, while Zex was piloting the Targis at the time. Because he's not so used with Heavyarms, so Trowa Barton told him, in case you're unable to use the Gatling gun, if in case you run out of ammunition, use the beam saber that's inside the left arm. And that was the only time it ever been used, but I kind of like that this kit has that throwback. So along with that, has that knife I mentioned, it has a shield, and a one-barrel Gatling gun, whereas normally, this is for this one-barrel Gatling gun was mostly used during the show, whereas in Endless Waltz, they had the Gundam Heavyarms had 2 double-barrel Gatling guns. So I really do enjoy that a lot more. So it gives you some areas here, pilot, Trowa Barton figurine, and some missile parts as in his shoulders, and of course the chain or certain way attachment for the Gatling gun. So yeah, the armor knife, beam saber, weapons figure, and beam Gatling. And in the box, it comes with, of course, the instruction manual. And it was a very simple build. I really didn't enjoy it. And this is what I mean, how what they look like in the show compare what the Endless Waltz version looks like. So big differences on both. It actually had a good amount of runners, actually. I'll say average for master grade. And this time it actually starts with a chest, whereas normally, at least the kits that I reviewed earlier, it starts off with the legs, but those were for real grade, so this was a good change of pace. The chest, the head over here, the shoulders, and then the arms. And here's more. This is what I was mentioning, the Sorrowful Battle, Zex Marquis and the Targis, and Hiroyuri in the Heavyarms. But yes, nice pace, and I kind of like how, I don't think I ever saw this one, but it was a clash between the Sandrock and Heavyarms. I think that may have been in the early episode where the pilots actually had no idea who each other were. The scientists who created all these Gundams knew that they wanted to do Project Meteor, but the pilots had no idea. They just thought they were by themselves, really. Until on one fateful day, I think it was episode 5, I want to say, that's when they all met each other and realized that they were actually on the same side. But in any case, back to this, then continues with the waist, the legs, some extra pieces for the missile pods that's on the waist skirt, and on the leg missile pods on the side. This is where you also end up making the backpack as well. Showing you all the accessories, of course, a piece for an action base attachment, the weapons, the armor knife, the shield, and the beam Gatling gun. More here, this is the decal sheet where you can put all the mats. And of course the color palettes. What you can do if you want to I don't want to say really custom paint, but really if you just want to buy paint and spray this yourself, just to match it up. And of course, paint for the small Trowa Barton figurine. And speaking of decals, there we go. And here are the decals and a sticker sheet here, and this is just a print sheet that you can just cut this up and you can just place this on the kit, but you actually need to like sew this up for. This is similar, I would say, to if you want to put a decal on your car. It's not really much of a sticker, you just need to place it there so it can blend in quite nicely. So that's how I see this as whereas these are actually stickers. But that's enough for that. Let's get on with the kit. And here we have the 1/100 scale Master Grade Gundam Heavyarms. And from first looks, well, really more so a review, I built this some time ago. I do want to say that I do like the color scheme. I always did like the red and orange, how it was on the show, in the TV series. It worked well, whether it would be the TV version or even the Endless Waltz version. So I like that Bandai decided to make this kit, but consider it Endless Waltz. Basically just like the sleek design, but just be a different color palette, along with, of course, different weaponry as well. But that aside, I really do like this way, how this turned out. I kind of wish it was a little bit more, just a little bit bigger, not in terms of bulk, but I would just say just a tad taller. I mean, this is the Heavyarms. I figured that it'd be a little bit more weaponry. But at the same time, though, this Gundam is actually made to be agile because it was mostly used for Trowa Barton, and it was just an agile Gundam that can actually have a lot of weaponry at its disposal. But that's how I see it as. But other than that, I do like the way how this turned out. I do feel like the shoulders might be a little bit too big, but at the same time, it does work well with the missile pods, so that can be forgiven. But yeah, other than that, I would say the shield I kind of wish was a bit bigger. The shield that was supposedly used in the TV series, I can't recall too much. It's been a while since I've seen the show. I feel like the shield was a little bit bigger in the TV series, and this one just seemed a little bit small in my personal opinion. But that's just me. This kit was made some time ago. But other than that, I do like the way how this turned out. Now to show you some articulation. As I'm showing this, I do want to say that I did find out about when this kit was released. It was actually released back in 2012, and it's 2021 now. So this kit is pretty old. So do expect that there's been quite a change in Gundam kits from 2012 to now. So do consider that. And I may have mispronounced the second Gundam that was made after the Shenlong. It was the Altron Gundam that I mentioned when I was showing the box art for this kit. Anyway, as I was saying, so for articulation, the arms can go all the way around, but this beam Gatling gun is just in the way. But it can go 360 degrees. The head can turn. It can't go all the way around. There's just some things in the way. So it is on a little bit of a ball joint. The waist, again, it can go 360 degrees, but this thing actually had it in the way too, so my apologies. There's a pretty good elbow joint. I would say it can go past 90 degrees, but not a full 180. And you see the knife here, so that can go all the way around. I do want to add that I've done some custom painting on this kit, and it was a good and bad idea, and I will explain in a few minutes. But one of the things I did paint was this blade. I figured that a nice silver blade will look a lot better than the I would say dark gray or even gunmetal that they came with the kit. So basically this blade will be the same color as this attachment piece right here. So I figured I did that. The hands can move like so. The arm is the only digit that is movable in a way, whereas the fingers, they're just, you can just take these off, like so. And you can just add different manipulators, like that. Notice the hands, like so. Or if you really want, you can have a closed fist. And this one just having trouble going in, but I think you all get the idea. Put that back, there we go. So the legs can, if you move the skirt up, this can actually go all the way up. A nice knee bend. The foot do have some simple articulation. Can pivot a little bit, go around. This kick can actually do a split, so that's good. And I'm just going to take this off now just because this is going to be in the way. And I will discuss about this in a minute. But yeah, this kick can do... Wow, I was not expecting that. But it can go like that, split. Very good. So I'm just going to put these to the side. There we go. So I can finish with this. Now, aside from just simple articulation, of course, this kick can have a few opening spots. I'm just going to take that off right now. So also, these can move as well. These were the things that were attached to the weaponry. So, like so. And of course, the one thing about the Heavyarms that everyone loved was, of course, the hidden missiles. So I'll just do the chest first because this piece did not turn out so well for me. As I stated before, I did some customized painting. I decided to paint certain parts silver. One of the parts I did was the chest. Now, I don't know how, but I guess the paint got rubbed off on a certain part that these were attached to, these Gatling guns in the chest. And due to that, these actually were really hard to open, the chest cavity. So I guess I may have painted it wrong, or maybe I could have only did one coat, or so I'll say no more than one coat if you're planning on painting this. I mean, don't get me wrong. I like the idea. I did paint this, and if I didn't, then all this would be the same color. And to me, it just would not stand out. So I'm thankful I did that. But I'm just telling you all, in case you're not too familiar with painting, just be careful. And since I have the chest cavity open, now I can open the canopy for the pilot, and in there is Trowa Barton. I can close that. And one thing I don't like about opening the chest cavity is that it is pretty hard to close this because of what I mentioned before. So I'll fix that later. For the shoulders, you have the missile pods here, and these turned out really well. I'm really happy I did paint these. And so these rotate out like so. Just gonna extend the blade out just so it's out of the way. And on these side skirts, you have more missile pods. You have on these front skirts more, and on the sides of the legs, you have more missile pods. So just a walking battalion of missile launchers. There you go. Let me show you the main weapon, the beam Gatling. As you saw earlier, it kind of fell off on me, but got back together. I do like this, but this belt, and for the record, that wasn't the first time the belt came off. I wish there was a better way to hold this together. I really wish that these pieces stayed on together a lot better. Maybe I should add some glue or something. But then again, like I said, this kit is from 2012, so it is a little bit old. But right here are these pegs here, and they go right here on the side. There we go. And the beam Gatling has these two pegs here that can go either the middle or either side. Okay. All right. Then we're good now. And along with this, this kit does come with another accessory I'm going to show. Before I do, here's a little Trowa Barton figurine. One thing I do recall from the character is that his hair was just so, like, to me it was funny. It just covered his right side of his eye. I always thought that it was actually one of the first hairdos I've seen in anime when I was young. Aside from that, I would definitely say Goku from Dragon Ball Z is another silly hairdo, I would definitely say. But if I haven't mentioned before, Gundam Wing was the first Gundam series that got traveled to the West, or in the United States. It wasn't the first Gundam franchise or first anime that was made, but it was actually the first one that came to the States. And since of its huge popularity, more series came over, and that's when Gunpla started, and that's how this community started, with fans of both the anime and Gunpla. So back to the accessory on the show. This is the beam saber Holt that is attached to the left arm, or you can attach it to the right arm. But the thing about this is, we just take out this shield. There's actually no way to remove this. You actually need to remove this entire piece. You gotta take the hand out and everything just so you can attach this. I wish there was like a better way to attach this piece, like maybe just create another part here that can just separate, so you can just mix and match instead of just disassembling this completely so you can attach this. That's the one thing I don't like about this kit, but other than that, it's actually pretty good, and I will just attach that in a minute. And now for some side comparisons. Here is Master Grade Heavyarms, and right beside the Real Grades and Enju, and I'm actually quite surprised. There's actually not much of a big, huge difference in size. Definitely the Master Grades at the time, I would say a little bit smaller than the Master Grades of now, in my personal opinion. But yeah, not by much in terms of height comparison. So how about that? I'm really astounded by that. And here's with his partner, and of course his best friend, the Sandrock, of course Trowa Barton and Katru Baba winner. Definitely get close as the series continued. And here's he with Master Grade Togi's Endless Waltz version as well. And again, I would say the Togi's is just slightly taller, just ever so slightly, but yeah, not much of a big, huge difference in terms of size. I would say most massacres are around this size, but I do want to say that today's version of massacres or today's genre is definitely just a little bit bigger than how they were in the past. And last but not least, here's the beside the Master Grade Musha Gundam Mark II. And as you can tell, even though these two are Master Grades, big difference. Really big difference. This is what I mean. I think this kit came actually after the Heavyarms. I will clarify that when I do the review on this kit, but as you can tell, big, huge difference. And that's it for side comparisons. And with an action base attached, you can actually display this in some nice aerial poses. But I would say the Heavyarms is more for ground assault than anything else. As agile as the mobile suit can be, this is definitely more ground support than anything else. Like I said, just due to the ammunition that's attached to this very, I would say, almost original OG. I can definitely say 1 to 5 OGs in my personal opinion. When I first watched Gundam Wing, these 5 were my first Gundams ever seen. But yeah, this is definitely something that I enjoy building regardless of some of the setbacks. Now for my final thoughts, the pros and the cons. For starters, the good, this is a easy build. Definitely was favorite from what I recall. I didn't have too many issues, I would say. Yeah, I would say it wasn't too complex. Another good, which I mean, I guess it all depends on what you want to do with this kit, but if you want to do some painting, obviously this is a good kit for that. Whether you want to give it that blue or light blue color similar to the Endless Waltz movie, or you do one that I did and just spray paint some parts of the armory, especially chest Gatling or some of the missile pods. So that's definitely a good plus. The articulation is actually pretty decent. I can't say it was too bad one way or another, so that definitely is a good plus in my eye. With that all being said, though, the cons, and there's a good number. For starters, like as it did happen in this video, the Gatling gun actually fell off, and a few pieces fell as well. So that's the one issue about that. Other than that, every other part on this kit holds true. Was pretty stable, just except for that. Another thing that I was really surprised about, but that accessory for the beam saber handle, yeah, the handle came with this kit, but not an actual effect part for the beam saber. I was so stunned by this. I go, then what's the point of having a beam saber handle if you're not gonna have the beam saber effect part? There's no point in that. I was very displeased by that. With that being said, in addition, I don't know if this is a big con or not, but because this kit was back in 2012, this Master Grade is pretty small, I would say. I mean, you saw the comparison with that and the other Master Grade, the Musha Gundam Mark II, even though it's a different design completely, but that one towers over this, even though it's supposed to be in the same 1/100 block. So that's quite surprising in my eye. But then again, if features-wise, if the Musha Gundam is supposed to be bigger than the Heavyarms, then again, I guess I can understand that. But just the fact that there was a big, huge difference between these two side by side. But again, order kit might be true. But that's definitely a big thing. Another thing too, and this is not really a con because of what I did, but if you are going to paint this, be careful. As I said, the chest cavity to open the Gatling guns was kind of tough to open. I definitely increased the stress on that movable part. So just watch yourself. Just be careful. Do one coat, no more than that. Or if there's a better way than what I did, I just used a spray paint. I used a Tomy spray paint. I remember using that. And that's been my main spray paint for a while now. So that one definitely did help me out a lot throughout other kits. But just the fact that that causes stress on that chest cavity piece, then it's definitely not worth it. I can't say for sure about that. Definitely not. So with that being said, is this a kit to add to your collection after everything I've said? I'll let that be your decision to make. For starter, like I said, this is an older kit, but at the same time though, this is a kit that belonged to a Gundam series that revolutionized how Gundams are here in the United States. So that's something to really consider about. And also, if you're a big fan of Gundam Wing, by all means, that is something to consider. This would be a great addition to your collection if you're a fan of Gunpla, Gundam Wing, or just model kits in general. And with that being said, I'm still trying to get my hands on the Bandai Premium, where is this kit, but the Endless Waltz Custom, where it's actually blue and light blue coloring, and it has the twin double barrel beam Gatling guns. So I'll do what I can to get my hands on that one. Thank you all for watching. I did very enjoy reviewing this kit. Definitely give me some memories of when I first saw this mobile suit, Gundam Wing. So I definitely have a good nostalgia feel to it, and I'm hoping that for those of you who are fans of Gundam Wing as well, it gets the same feeling as well. But if you haven't done so, please sure to like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Definitely more videos are coming. In case you've seen my comparison part of this review, you definitely can tell what kits are coming up shortly. So tune in for that. So thank you again. There are some videos here. Hope you all like it. Give those a click. And until next time, keep on building.